So low-key, trigger warning, maybe? I don't know, I feel like normally I'm like trigger warnings, I feel like they expose very important things about your own personal psychology and psyche, whatever. If you get triggered, it shows you that you have things to heal. That's all I'm going to say. You have things to heal. When you get emotional, you're getting emotional for a reason, and you need to heal it. Anyway, this is a bit different though. Like, a lot of people, when they haven't thought about it and all that, it's very confronting, I guess. But you can just turn it off. But also, I kind of know what it is like to get triggered, and your brain just takes over. Anyway, trigger warning, death. So, yeah. We've kind of like experienced death before. How weird is that? How trippy. Like, I'm in two minds about death. I believe, I don't believe. Like, in my head, there's a part of me that, well, not separate parts, but like, because I'm pretty sure how decisions are made, it's like one part of the brain decide, like when you're eating food, you want to eat fish. Like one part, as in like a cluster of neurons that are the fish neurons that light up, and then chicken neurons that light up, and then whatever neurons group is like more powerful, or there's more of them, that's the one that you decide consciously that you're aware of. I think, but anyway, look into that because I'm really not sure. Anyway, I decided to change the light so it kind of looks like I haven't just videoed a few videos in a row. But yeah, so death. We've all been dead before. But yeah, I'm in two minds. So I'm aware of like the cluster in my head, cluster of neurons, of like the materialist scientist in me that's like, there's only the physical world. That we live one life. Oh, we live every day, but we only die once kind of thing. We die once, and that's it. When we die, we die. There's nothing else. But then there's also another part of me that believes that in like reincarnation and spirits and stuff, which I think that's the part that that I believe is. I believe both, but I don't know, I just believe it again 2 times. I don't believe it more than one more than the other. I just believe it, I don't know, on another level, I guess. But yeah, we've all been dead before. When we go to sleep every night, we're unconscious, like, which is the same as death. We're just unconscious. Well, that's not strictly the criteria for death, but that's one part of it. We lose our sense of self, consciousness, awareness, which happens in sleep. And before you were born too, before we were born, we were like nothing. We weren't a physical body, so it's like the same as after death. And when you go to sleep every night, it's kind of the same experience, I think. And I just thought that was really trippy. Yeah, so we've all been dead before. Oh yeah, I think it's very important to meditate on the concept of death from like a philosophical like perspective, but like in the eyes of a materialist, scientist, physical world type of person. Like, because I used to think about death, and I'm like, I used to just, in my like mind's eye, I never realized, I think I was like meditating on death. I never realized what I was doing. When I was younger, like, it sounds kind of weird for a kid to do, just think about death. But I used to just think about everything. I kind of think that's why my brain is like anxiety, because overthinking. But I'm learning to rewire my brain so it's not anxious, but so I still not overthink. I just think a lot, but I don't overthink things, and I'm still curious. But I used to think about death, and I just used to see like just the black like, just to give it like some, to give it like a picture, like just a black night sky, and how that would go on forever and ever and ever. Like when we die, we're dead forever and ever and ever. So we've only got this one life. And I think it's important to realize how important death is and significant that death is, in the sense that we, in like a physical world scientist point of view, we only live one life, because it makes us grateful for life. And every day, just every day we just wake up, just because without death we don't have life. And I feel like you can't live life to the fullest until you realize how precious it is. Because I try talking about this to people, like how when we die, we're dead forever, which I don't believe. I believe, I don't know. I'm just going to just let my thoughts be their thoughts. I'm just separate from our thoughts. We're just the awareness. But a lot of people get really upset. And I'm like, why would you be upset about something that happens? Like, all you're doing is thinking about something that happens anyway. It's inevitable. So I don't know, why don't people just get emotional and they become illogical, and which I suppose is fair, because like the whole point of being emotional is so you don't logically think. You just do things without thinking so that you can stay alive. You don't have time to think about stuff. You just do things without thinking so that you can survive. But yeah, we've all been dead before. We die basically every night. I know death, like criteria for death is different, but when we die, we become unconscious. When we go to sleep, we become unconscious. Before we were born, we were unconscious. So there's nothing to be afraid of. Yeah.